I'm trying to remember. We skipped last week, and the week before that was the fast forward, right?
We didn't skip last week.
Last week was the fast forward.
Okay.
It was Death Watch we skipped.
I see.
Basically, we made it to Footfall after a roundabout journey.
I got a pet psyker!
We turned in the sword after attempting to repair it. I went off and got drunk and found out a good lead for someplace else. Meanwhile, people on the ship decided to figure out and fight a warp entity that stole the sword in the first place. Their damn navigator Seneschal ended up getting a fucked up pet. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, it sounds like it. All right. So with that recap done and memories vaguely refreshed. So you are currently hanging out in Footfall, and yeah, you have some time to kill after a strenuous day of fighting and enjoying yourselves on shore leave. So as you meet up in the evening ship time to hash things out, talk about the things you have learned, and come down from the adrenaline rush of the day's events.
Oh, I may have forgotten. I do apologize. I thought it was 7 o'clock right now.
So what do you all want to do? You have some leads.
Thanks, Traffic. I appreciate it. But if Traffic didn't message me, I would have been gone. How's everyone doing? Have we started?
You fucker!
I apologize. I don't know why no one messaged me except Traffic. And he just messaged me right now, so I'm like, what? What's going on?
Bullshit! I fucking tagged you in the fucking.
Yeah, but
like,
I don't listen to.
So, what are you all doing after all of you come back to the ship?
Billy wants to follow up on his hunch.
Yeah, you're all sitting down having dinner together, or standing around on the bridge having a conversation, or just being in the vicinity. Billy, you said you wanted to go investigate your hunch.
Yeah.
All right.
Guess I should clue everyone else in on who I think suspected.
All right. So yeah, go ahead and do that.
So after we delivered the sword on the way back, I started thinking about all the clues on who the suspect was in the stealing of the sword. From the scratch marks to being able to move the crate on their own and getting away from the firing team that had them trapped. All signs point to the crew. The crew jumped on board the gun cutter. They were arrested with us. They came back to the ship with us.
Why did we let him back in the ship?
We didn't really have an option.
That kind of just got glossed over in the fast forward, so
Oh,
they just
okay,
kind of
okay.
ended up on the ship. So that's who I think it is, because there was no introductions done. We just have a rogue crew on the ship, and to me, the signs point towards the crew. So that is who I will be searching the ship for, to attempt to subdue and interrogate if anyone else wants to join.
Yep, I'll come along.
Yeah, I will as well.
Everybody's gonna tag along on this one.
I also, I assume what I missed was we went, handed the things in, nothing bad happened.
Oh, that was last week.
Yeah, but we still hadn't gotten back to the ship, right? Last thing we ended with.
He literally just said we're back on the ship.
I know. I was asking if anything else happened between that. Shut up. Keep. Shh.
Erden,
Yes.
I'm gonna be polite and tell you this once. Shut the fuck up already.
I just
You're
asked.
super. Shut the fuck up. You're super late. You're interrupting. Yeah? Fucking be on time next time. You are all back on the ship. You are having this conversation. Billy is explaining the situation, the hunch he has about who stole the crate. That's the situation. I don't
That's
give
all
a
I
shit.
asked.
Solaris, did you explain as you were all gathered for a brief moment at least? Did you brief the rest of the party with the information you heard?
Yeah, I would have passed it along as a captain. I ended up overhearing a couple of voidsmen out there saying something about a planet called Kull that had, or Kerr Kull, something like that. Let me pull it out of my data pad. But it has a bunch of stuff we might be interested in.
And the thing you heard about it was apparently some Xeno ruins that were bringing some pretty significant profits to the people working there. They were shipping the stuff from there.
All right. So I guess after we sort out our business here, we can go ahead and take a look there.
Okay. So what's the first plan of business then?
So are we hunting down the crew that's somewhere on the ship then? Because
Yeah,
that's what I'm understanding.
that's a loose end we kind of need to deal with before we just take off with them just running around rogue on the ship.
Yeah, seems fair. So are we doing the stupid horror movie move where we all split up and look for clues?
You can if you want to. I'm sticking together.
I mean, I can just tell everyone on the ship to look out for the crew and to relay any information they have back to me. And I guess we can either go as one team or maybe split into two and keep so much distance between the two teams in case one needs backup.
There's enough of us in ones and a fourth that feel like we should be able to do that.
Yeah, but I know how Zeph built his crew, and it's going to be a pain in the ass to subdue it if you resist.
Fair. Never mind, fair.
Keep in mind, Chief Cutter just bought 30 fucking battle servitors.
Ooh. Like.
half of them are armed with chain axes and flamers. The other half are armed with chain axes and heavy bolters.
Blow it to smithereens.
Ooh, pulling out of it.
Kindling out of it, blow it to smithereens.
Hey, so I know how you've been gone for a couple weeks. We kind of killed your character again, so hope you have another
Yep.
roll.
That. So this is what happens when you're not here. So he kills you. Sorry. Our bad. But you have another one, right? So it's fine.
Like you were kind of trying to steal, partially a dick move on your part. So
So in all honesty, you did this to yourself. So like, it's fine. I think he still has like 2 more characters. So. Anywho's, so splitting, no splitting. I don't mind not splitting. I just want to know if we're going to.
I mean, it'll be easier to subdue him if we don't split up. You can only dodge so much.
Where to first?
I guess I'll radio out and see if anyone has any leads or if they found any clues. Can I roll Forbidden Lore Xenos to see if maybe I can think of where he might hide out on the ship?
Sure. +0. Yeah, so from what you know, there are probably gonna be a whole bunch of places with hard to reach for anyone other than a crew. So yeah, somewhere up in like a maintenance conduit, for example, and there are plenty of those on the ship. So probably ain't gonna be up in any like super open areas, so like the hangar base, the cargo base, and like stuff like that. Probably ain't gonna be a place where you need to look. So you need something a bit more confined, like maintenance hatches and all that.
So I need confined quarters that are also big enough to let a crew in.
Yeah, but difficult enough to get to that no one else is just gonna randomly wander in. So the thing you know from being there when you saw the ship guard actually in the firefight, as you retrieved the crate, there was blood trails, so the crew was hit at least once.
So less strong than usual, weaker than usual. That's proper English. I can do that.
No, because I'm just gonna assume that the crew's gonna act like the crew we used to play with, which means he's probably killed and eaten someone, gained part of their wounds as his wounds to make up for.
Fun.
I'm gonna send out I guess a PSA to the entire ship. Travel in groups. Look for hard to reach areas. Most likely close quarter combat. Maybe areas that are not traveled much by the crew. That are large enough that a crew can fit. Should look for
Well-
any signs of blood splatter.
Well, Lord Trader, you might want to tell them not to engage and just to do surveillance until we get.
Well, the rest of us, we're going to go back to where we found the crate and see if we can follow the blood trail if at all possible.
Fair enough.
Chief Cut has got his servitors all lined up in rows, and he's walking back and forth in front of them like he's fucking General Patton. And he's sending them out in groups of 5 to find this chicken leg sneaky git and bring him back here.
Excellent.
I guess we should try to subdue him alive, but if he gets roughed up a little, then it is what it is. He'll just eat another person or two and he'll be fine.
Just pick off, one of the people that's always in the fucking brig and just throw them in
We'll just pick someone and throw them around every corner. We're about to go around and see if the crew eats them real quick.
the. Come here, red shirt.
Why not just make a little tribute to the crew? Set up a trap. Scooby used.
I mean, I guess I could just fucking do a ship-wide announcement and ask the crew to show up, and we won't attempt to hurt it, but whether it's going to respond or not, or actually comply.
I mean, that's something you can do.
And I guess I might as well give it a shot. Put out another announcement to the crew for the whole ship, but aimed at the crew to, I guess, meet us where it abandoned the crate and left. So that's where we're going to be heading. Just announce to meet us there, and because I want to talk.
All right. Yeah, you make that announcement. And while that's happening, what do the rest of you do?
I think I'm staying near Billy. If there's nothing immediately for me to do, like if I were to roll inquiry, that would probably require me to move around the ship a little bit. So how long does it take for him to give out those commands?
Just getting over the box. Less than a minute.
Okay, I'll wait for him to finish them.
After that, I'm going to start heading towards where we found the crate.
And Chief Cutta's going to take one squad of his boys and follow Billy.
Yeah, I'll trail along too, going, hey, I could use a.
All right. Yeah, an inquiry test is like an hour each for each test, so that would be something you do during a bit longer time frame rather than this one minute by minute thing. All right, so yeah, you all approach the area where the crate was abandoned, and can all of you make me awareness +0 awareness test, please, as you're approaching the spot?
Hey, I actually passed.
All right, so those of you who passed, as you're walking, maybe like half a corridor away from the spot, you smell a fairly potent coppery scent in the air, just lingering. And as you round the corner, you see where the crate was before when you retrieved it. There's roughly 5 bodies, torn up and mangled, just laying strewed out on the floor in the middle of the hallway. And you see las carbines and sidearms scattered, and truncheons as well. So ship security by the looks of it, by the torn uniforms. and it looks like 2 of them tried to run away and got cut down or shot in the back, and then dragged back, judging by the blood spatter and the blood marks on the floor. So that's what you see when you get to the hallway.
Anyone have any tracking skills?
What can qualify for tracking?
Tracking is an advanced skill, so if you don't have it, you don't have it, unfortunately.
So search works as well if you want to look for hidden stuff in a small area, which I suppose this would be. So it might be search first to see if there is any prints or any like signs of movement away, and then from there, after those have been discovered, it's tracking to figure out where the tracks actually lead.
Holy shit, everybody failed but me.
So I guess the pilot's the only one that can.
I don't have
shit.
search.
L2.
I would have to roll.
I don't get search till rank 3.
Oh, I got it. Oh my god, I passed.
I need a
What?
11 to pass my-
Looking around on the floor, there is you see there is a couple of scratch marks from bloody challenge that is leading away, been scratching the metal floor as the crew has been moving away from the scene of the carnage.
I guess we can head this way and see if we find any more.
And yeah, as you're looking at the borders and investigating the area, there is definitely parts of each of the ship security that has been eaten. Like it looks like parts have been devoured. So chances are whatever damage the crew had taken has been regenerated by that. Alright, so if you want to attempt to follow the tracks, I need a tracking roll from whoever has it.
I think any of us have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it.
I remember tracking is one of those, tracking and navigation are those really weird skills that you'd think everybody could get, but nobody gets until rank 3, 4.
I don't think I didn't see it at all listed for Rogue Trader.
Alright. Yes, you follow the track as far as you can, but eventually it leads through one of the hatchways into one of the nearby maintenance shafts, and from there, it's none of you seem to be able to tell where it went from there. There is no more blood trails to follow. Like whatever bleeding it had to start with had been staunched, and whatever blood it had on its claws had been wiped away.
Can I order some trackers to our location? I'm assuming there has to be someone on the ship that can track, right?
Yeah, you can have an NPC, a couple of NPCs. As you walks over, and yeah, after a few minutes, a team of 3 arrives, snaps a salute at you and says, "What do you need for us? What do you need of us, my lord?"
Followed the track of the crew to this point. From here on out, we need someone with a little more specialized.
All right. Yeah, they take a moment to look around, and then they set off, all three of them, in a V shape into the maintenance hatch. And yeah. That's the last you see of them for a bit as they wiggling around inside. So yeah, anyone want to do anything while you wait? Because it's a lot. It's still a even if it's one of the smallest ship you can have, it's still a fairly large structure to move around in with a lot of tight confined spaces. So it's gonna take them a while to find anything.
Can't think of too much I can do to help the situation.
Since we all failed our search rolls, is there anything else that we could do or roll to see what we can do to help?
I mean, I suppose short of actually climbing in there and following them through the tight confined tunnels, there probably ain't a lot you can do.
I'll probably just hang out and wait until they come back with news.
I'm just gonna read a book while I wait.
All right. So you're all standing outside this maintenance hatch that they climbed through.
Actually, are there any other exit points for this hatch? Or like all the maintenance hatches on the ship?
Sorry, were you asking if they're all connected with each other?
Yeah, like is there more than one exit for this hatch? Like if they go in this hatch, is there anywhere else that you could technically exit?
Yes, several points on each floor, and each floor is connected to each other from at least one point. So there is free movement to move across the ship in these hatches.
Well, Lord Trader, I would advise perhaps stationing people outside of other maintenance hatches so that if the crew were to escape from somewhere else, we could keep an eye on it at the minute.
That's a good point. An order teams within the area for each entrance point to station up around the entrance and keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on the hatch, but also keep an eye out for around in case the crew that already left is going to make its way back.
All right. Yeah, you get affirmatives from the Archmilitant as he sends out the order through to the security teams, and you see them start deploying near every access point to the maintenance tunnels. But yeah, it's gonna take for the trackers and for the security details. It's gonna take them a while before anything happens. So, are you standing around just waiting, or are you going about doing something else while waiting for this?
I'm gonna break out a bottle of Amasec and just start passing it around.
and that's why you're the ship captain.
I'm going to be keeping a close eye on our surroundings, but otherwise we'll just be waiting.
All right. So I suppose the next question is, and how long do you wait here?
I'll give it about an hour before I start looking around myself for checking.
Yeah, I'll wait at least an hour.
Chief Cut is tired of waiting. He's going into the maintenance shaft with his squad of servitors.
All right. Yeah, it's a bit of a tight squeeze for you, seeing as you're fairly bulky, and the servitor seems to be struggling a bit as well, but they manage. So yeah, are you trying to follow along inside, or are you just taking whichever path looks the most fun?
Yeah, he's basically just aimlessly wandering, hoping that more can work, leading to a good fight.
All right. So I suppose the next question is: do you go first, or do you let the servitors go first?
When he goes first.
All right. Anyone else following the orc as he starts climbing into the tunnels himself?
I'll go.
I mean, not to be kind of a leader would I be if I didn't go as well. So after I see
Fair
him and the servitors going, I'm going to follow in.
Yep, I'll
Fair
follow as well.
I'll go after them.
Yeah,
Alright.
fuck it, let's go.
I mean, you can drink in the tunnels. It's fine. But yeah,
I plan on it.
excellent. But yeah, as you're all climbing through and start wandering around, yeah, eventually you come to a junction. It's a T intersection that has a vertical element to it as well, and starts climbing upwards. And Chufkata, seeing as you're going first, you notice this first in the T junction where you can actually stand up rather than being hunched over. You see there is an impaled head sitting on one of the metal struts, and there is a decent amount of blood on the floor.
Well, Chief Cut is going to call back to the others that he doesn't think the tracker boys made it. One of them done went and lost his head.
Does it look like there's any lead on the new position of the group from here?
Yeah, roll me I suppose a search again then. See if you can find something.
Oh.
Yeah, looking around, seems to be going climbing upwards. There is fairly deep grooves carved into the vertical maintenance shaft. So what looks of it, the crew has been climbing upwards.
Well, upwards we go to.
So you can either climb up or attempt to climb up, or you can simply leave the hatch and then take the normal way of going to the next deck in the ship.
Chief
I'll say-
Cutter will attempt to climb.
All right, that's the case. Yep.
Radio and tell the floors above to keep an eye out that it could be heading there.
All right. So
And that
everyone's
he is hostile.
all right. So everyone who's trying to climb, roll me a climb check, because this is a bit of a challenging climb.
I'll try to climb it first, and then worst case scenario, just exit and go to normal.
Alright, yeah, plus 40 on that roll.
Let's start on the climb. Go wrong.
Well, not for you.
Alright, sorry, I had to step out for just a second. What happened in the last 30 seconds?
On the dit tracker, looks like the crude's going up, so we're all attempting to climb. If you want to attempt,
I'm climbing up the shaft, I guess.
Alright, I'll follow.
Oh, it's plus 30. I made it.
No, it's plus 40 because Beatrice has the
Oh.
power armor.
Oh, I mean, I would have failed either way, but that's
I was gonna say I failed even with the plus 30. So
yeah. I'm like, so did I.
I needed a 20.
But yeah, Beatrice, as you're climbing up, it's a bit of a strenuous thing because of the sheer bulk of the armor in the confined space, but you manage to climb up. And about halfway up, it's about, I'd say maybe 10-meter climb or so. About halfway up, you notice there is a rend in the wall. And yeah, as you look at it, it's fairly large. Not large enough to fit a crude, but definitely large enough to compromise some of the structural integrity of it. And as you look inside this rend in the metal, you see there is what looks to be a head and also a fairly crushed rib cage. So a head and a torso stuffed in this hole.
I am going to use my box, if it still works at least, and try to tell everyone that I think I'm finding where he's storing his leftovers. And I'm also going to ask that perhaps if we can have someone look later and look into emptying this out and checking the integrity of whatever wall that's left that hasn't been dented into.
yeah, we're gonna get this fixed, but we have to. Can't really risk any others coming in here until we do the crew.
So, my Lord Trader, if it's something that you find would be in your best interest, perhaps you'd want to have guards posted outside and to retract any previous statements of bringing anyone else in, since it seems he's just using it as a maze to kill people.
Yeah, we've already got the guards set up at all the entrances.
Truth kind of suggests getting absolutely everybody of importance into all the important parts of the ship and then just suck the air out of the rest of it.
Yeah, we could always try that. I can't think of a better idea, honestly.
Don't we have a lot of people on the ship though?
Yeah, it's usually counted in the thousands. I think one
Yeah, that's
crew
what
is
I thought.
1,000.
Well, he said the important people.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, what if he's in the vents and he's just crawling back inside somehow?
Then we
Well, if
kill
you
off
get-
his food supply.
You know,
we
if
can
you
try
get
that.
everybody that's important, savable, into the important parts of the
So
ship,
are we trying to kill the crew?
kill him or draw him to one of those parts of the ships where we can find him. I mean, say for instance, you put absolutely everybody on the ship in the cargo bay, seal off the cargo bay, and then drain all the air out of the ship. He's either going to die or has no choice but to go to the cargo bay where
I'm worried that at that point, though, he's already gotten enough people that he's leached wounds off of. So if we try to corral him that way, he may or may not be able to just work his way into wherever we're at. So I feel like if we maybe leave another option and try to like corral him towards somewhere where everyone's not,
And if
so
I
we don't
remember,
endanger our crew by doing this.
if I remember right, they only get a portion of what they eat wounds, and I don't think it stacks.
With that senior roll you made earlier, I'll give you that. So that's what you know.
well, that's Tuvcutter's suggestion. Since we can't find him, we use some brutal cunning and make him come to us.
Can we vent the atmosphere from just the maintenance hatches?
Yeah, they could be sealed off and vented into space.
Maybe we should all just leave that, seal the maintenance hatch, vent it, and see where he pops out if he does. Because no one should be in here except us right now. And if they are, then tough shit. We can't really risk the crew knowing we're about to do this. So I guess let's make our way out of the maintenance hatch,
All right.
and then we'll seal it
All
and
right.
vent it.
Sounds
All
like
right,
a plan,
Captain.
Jimmy. All right, so you all make your way out of the hatch again, gingerly stepping around the puddle of blood. And yeah, as you come out, you walks over to whoever is in charge of pulling the levers and pushing the buttons, and you hear the pressure seals engage behind you as the door closes, and yeah, you hear the air, the ventilation system engage and draw all the atmosphere out from the maintenance hatch system. So yeah, how long are you waiting out here before you do anything else? Or because it's a big ship still, so it's gonna take a bit of time before it's like completely empty.
I'll give it about 2 hours.
All right, what are you doing in the meantime?
I'll be keeping a good eye on our surroundings, pretty much like the last time, every now and then doing a Psyniscience test to try and keep an eye on my surroundings.
All right, give me an awareness, please. Side-based if you have any bonuses. You are reasonably confident that during this time you're standing around waiting, that nothing is approaching you from the shadows.
If anything does approach us from the shadows, my servitors have darts.
All right. But yeah, after around the 2 hour mark, um, or actually maybe closer to like 1.5. I think Billy, you get a box call from the arch militant. I do believe. Let's call him Regis. Why not? Very good name. The arch militant Regis that you have in your employ. He calls you and says, "We have still no sign of the crew, but 3 of the patrols I sent to the upper levels have been wiped out. I've sent scout units, and they found the bodies, mangled and eaten. And you probably want to see this. We're outside your quarters right now."
All right, I'm on.
All right. Yeah. So as you arrive, you see, and I think as you're moving towards your quarters, you are met with a extensive guard detail. So probably like 10 of them, 10 or 15, with lash guns and outer guns. They come and meet you in the hallway, and then false information with you. And yeah, as you arrive to the quarter, you see Regis standing there in full uniform, and he gestures with a nod to your room, and you see as like outside in the hallway, like the walls are smeared with blood, and yeah, as you look into the room, on your bed, on the pillow, you see two heads laying placed facing each other on your pillow, and the floor in here is covered in bloody tracks as well, and scratch marks from claws.
Does anyone else see this?
Anyone who followed the rogue trader to his quarters.
What I see is I'm gonna have to read the bedroom. This bird.
Should we all check our rooms? Or do you think that this is just a targeted message?
Assuming it's a targeted message. I mean, we can go and check yours as well as if you want, since you were nearest it when it broke out of its cage, but I'm just gonna assume it would, because it's my ship and I made an investment. It stole from my room.
Yeah, so with that Xeno degree roll you made with 1.9, I'd say you know enough about the crew to know that they speak Low Gothic, and they have fairly intense hearing as well. So by that, with that information, you know that if it was close enough to listen to your conversation in the maintenance hatch, chances are it heard everything and then decided to give you the middle finger, or metaphorical middle finger at least, before it moved on somewhere else.
So this thing could be anywhere in the ship.
It's got a retarded amount of ability.
And a retarded amount of concealment too.
Especially with the way Zeph likes to build them.
So what's our best option?
Honestly, we're just gonna be playing cat and mouse until we finally see it.
Do we have everyone sealed away somewhere other than the guard? Or are we gonna get rid of the guards too now since like he's just gonna use them as food?
Where is my room? Juncture with levels.
So I think yours would be probably like the command crew would probably be bunked at one of the top levels, fairly close to the bridge. I'm not entirely certain about the layout of this ship, because I haven't really seen a good picture of a scout sloop. But it would be close enough to the bridge that it wouldn't be like, in case of emergency, you wouldn't have to, run for half an hour to get to the command post. So yeah, same deck, maybe like let's say two bulkheads away from the bridge. And this is where all the command crew are normally stationed. So you all have your quarters on the same deck. I think as you're standing here contemplating outside or inside your room, you see Regis reach for his walk speed, and is listening to something, and he looks at you, Billy, and says, "I have reports from the main cargo deck. They think they've seen something moving in the shadows, moving to port side of the ship. Should I tell them to stay back or engage?"
Where was it moving towards?
The port side on the hangar bay or the cargo bay deck. And that's where the airlocks is to get into the station itself, as you're still docked at Footfall.
I guess follow it. Try and keep eyes on it. Can.
He gives you a nod and relays the orders.
The chief kind of takes his boys and starts heading that way ASAP.
All right.
Because if nothing else, the way I see it, if it gets off the ship, we'll just fucking. Not our problem then.
All right. Yeah, it's gonna take you a bit. Actually, did you bring your war bike with you, or are you going on foot, Uvkara?
He's going on foot. I'm assuming his war bike is probably stashed in his little mech shop or wherever he out at.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, you know the way, an efficient way to get there fast. So yeah, I think, and yeah, as you and the servitors stomp down the hallway, you see the security detail in the main hangar deck or hangar area, slowly, like weapons trained, moving around into one of the hallways. And yeah, you're rapidly approaching them, and one of them looks over and sees you as it's a fairly loud sound when an orc is stomping around.
And he's gonna ask them if they see the sneak.
Yeah, one of them reports that we think it's up ahead, and the other seems to be completely clueless. That is actually impressive, the amount of failure in that role. Okay, can you give me a side-based awareness if you have anything?
How about that?
Yeah, so you don't see anything, but you do hear something as from up ahead, as you see where the airport, or not airport, airlock, that's all, is, and currently the doors are currently open into the station, and from somewhere in that area you hear two loud, sharp bangs, and you see one of the guardsmen in front of you, his head explode, and the other one gets his chest torn up, and both of them fall to the ground. And then you see something shimmering leave out the door in a fairly rapid pace, but you don't see what it actually is. You just see a very faint, like, light shift. And as the two ship guards, ship security falls, the other three remaining levels their guns and start shooting into the station. And you see the deckhands, the embarkation deck, start freaking out and running for cover.
Well, Tooth Cutter being Tooth Cutter, he's gonna pull out that big shooter of his and order his. I guess he probably brought along at least 3 servitors with heavy bolters, and the other 2 have flames. Him and the 3 servitors with the heavy bolters is going to suppress the fire of that entire area where he saw the shimmering. And then order
Alright.
the 2 with the flamers to move up and burn the fuck out of that spot.
Alright. I'm just having a quick look at suppressive fire and see what it actually does. Alright, so roll a... Yeah. Actually, no, you don't have to roll anything. You can roll a -20 ballistic skill if you want, to see if you actually hit anything.
And because of the loudener on the gun, anything he's trying to suppress has a -10 penalty because of how loud it is.
Okay, so the Servitors doesn't necessarily hit anything.
Oops, I hate to
Yeah, as you and the three servitors open fire, there is a deafening sound of gunfire nearby in the area, and you see all the free ship security just throw themselves to the ground and cover their ears. But yeah, as far as you know, you are thoroughly suppressing literally everything in the area. Yeah, as you burst or run through a couple of rounds of ammunition, you keep suppressing the area, or do you stop to look at the spot?
Yeah, we'll give it one more round of suppression.
All right. Yeah, you keep firing into the loading bay, and yeah, as far as you can tell, at least everything is suppressed in there.
Since the guards are laying down, he's going to give one a light or kick to the ribs and tell him to go shut the door before the sneaky kid gets back on the.
All right. Yeah, you manage to kick one into action, and with a yelp of pain, he gets up, runs to the door control, and shuts the door. And yeah, you hear the moments later, you hear the reassuring sound of the airlock cycling the pressure, and it's now sealed off. So from the inside,
Do we know for sure the crew got out of the ship?
the last bit of air shimmer that the tooth cutter saw was on the outside of the ship in the space station, moving away from the ship.
And if he got back on the ship, he'd have had to have ran through a big shooter and 3 heavy bolters worth of suppressing fire.
So, for the sake of expediency, to the best of your knowledge, the crew has currently left the boat.
Tooth Cutter will box back to Billy and tell him the situation.
So after I hear Tooth Cutter's report, I'm gonna order that the ship stay locked. Anyone going in and out has to be let in or out. And I'm gonna keep security detail around the entrance, heavily guarded, till we leave.
All right.
Just now we need to start cleaning up.
Well, that's what you have menials for. It's not the job for the rogue trader to do all the cleaning stuff.
Well, I by no means meant I was gonna clean. Before we leave, I'm probably just gonna have all my furniture and shit in my room just outright replaced.
Yeah, you just toss them out the airlock, you know. They'll orbit the sun eventually.
Chief Crit is going to leave a squad of his servitors there on Overwatch with orders to shoot anything that isn't a Hume or Grot.
All right. As you set on your servitors and set them on Overwatch, and you are now confident that nothing who isn't what you told them to will be able to get in.
And this is the only way in and out.
There are several entrances, but this is the larger one, because this is to the main cargo hold.
Even the small ones, I want to have the same rules
Yeah,
as this one.
Yeah, I assume so for the sake of expediency that like all
Hopefully that
entrances would be
doesn't
heavily
happen
guarded
again.
and put on lockdown. All right. So yeah, after the supposed crude situation being handled, what's the plan now then? As the redecoration effort and cleanup effort takes place.
Talk to Solris and see what all information he found out on Xeno's dig. Because that sounded promising before things got.
Now, did I actually get where the system was located at, or just the name of it?
So you have the name of it, and you can roll a Coronis Expanse lore to see if you have heard of it and can possibly point to it on a map.
Give him 10.
Yeah, I don't remember if you did that lore last session.
No, but I got it now.
Well, you're welcome to give it a try. Plus 10 for the rogue trader.
Nope, I failed it.
Go on a fate point.
Yeah, I'll use a fate point on that one. Nope, not yep. I'm good. I can't point it out.
Yeah, you only heard the name, but you don't remember exactly where it was. Maybe the Amazak hit you a bit harder than expected.
Since he told me the name, and that's all he can really see if I remember based on the name.
Yeah, if you have heard anything in the past. Yeah, it's Spinward of the Cauldron. So short distance away from here. From footfall at least. But that's about it. And that would be the same amount of info I'll give you if you were to spend a fate point and bump that, so it wouldn't be any idea for it.
Sales here.
Spinward of the Cauldron, so above the cauldron. Somewhere in that area. Hopefully you can see the drawing there.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, so somewhere in that area.
Can anyone try the Coronis Expanse
But
to get
if anyone
more
wants-
information or no?
Yeah, anyone who has it and hear the name can see if you can remember something.
I don't have Cronus.
Right, let me just have a quick look, see what kind of information you get with that many degrees. So, other than location, is there anything specific you want to know about this place?
Well, I would be interested in knowing maybe what major events have occurred here. So, for example, if a rogue trader had tried to set up a colony here and then a bunch of robots mysteriously came out of nowhere and blew it up, that would be the kind of information that would interest me. I'd also like to know if there's a is the area currently being exploited, and if it isn't, then what would be a good reason for it not to be exploited?
I was thinking too, maybe if they're excavating Xenos artifacts, maybe what kind of Xenos have been on the planet.
All right. So, obscure. Yeah, so I'll say I'll give you the location of it. So the reason why it's not currently colonized, so it's an abandoned planet orbiting a, or more accurately, it's a smaller habitable moon orbiting a large gas giant in the system. And the reason why it's not currently being, it's listed among, I suppose, one of the, as a planet that doesn't have any resources left, and that's what might be the reason why it was abandoned. It's just essentially an empty system with nothing of interest in it. And I think Solric would know. I think I mentioned that, but but for those who succeeded on the role would know as well that there is some rumors, at least, about Eldar ruins on the planet.
I could understand people not wanting to be in proximity of space elves. Alright, yeah, so I will are we all in the bridge area when we're talking about this? Since we're talking about setting going into the void and leaving real quick.
Yeah, if you have like a meeting room or some such.
Yeah, okay. In that case, when we're talking about the planet that we're going to, I'll just mention yeah, it seems to be seems like we might be able to find something of value. We might want to watch out for any Eldar who might still care about this planet, and possibly anyone else who might be interested in some of the stuff that we ourselves are after. But other than that, it looks like this could be a pretty good deal.
Works for me. When are we setting off?
Unless anyone else has any other business, we could leave now.
Yeah, Chief Cut is pretty much done with this.
So, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say my furniture and stuff has been replaced and I'm ready.
Can all of you roll me, as you're sitting around talking about this, or standing around, depending on comfort level, can all of you roll me a plus 16 logic test, please?
Is it plus 60 or 16?
60.
Oh.
60.
Okay, well I pass. Pass. With flying colors.
Actually, would it be minus 60 when having the.
Yeah, when you roll it like that, for you it would be minus 60 because you want as low as possible. But that's still a success.
I mean, I guess one thing I never found out was who was doing the excavations, because it could be Eldar excavating Eldar.
So as you're sitting around being super enthusiastic about this new adventure and all the profits that will come with it, a couple of things that comes to mind idly as you're maybe sipping your Amasak. First of all, the navigator doesn't have any maps, star routes to get here. Secondly, if you're going to be doing any archaeological digging, you don't have the gear for it. Like you are not equipped to do that, set up that kind of adventure. And thirdly, I suppose, if you're gonna be spending any time on planet, chances are you need someone who are adequately versed in surviving on a hostile planet. And I suppose for the hell of it, you could maybe ask around at the local administratum guild, I suppose, about if there is anyone who has filed a claim on this planet before to check who actually owns it. So those are just some idle thoughts that occur to most of you as you sit down.
Alright, well, the most important thing is probably the navigator's chart, so we should probably go ahead and try to acquire that.
But first, we should find out if it's owned first. If it is, that's going to cause some issues if we just show up. Maybe the Seneschal and Navigator can go find out about the cost of the charts.
Completely unrelated question. What's the battleground?
Well, it's a pretty cool place.
So where am I going to get the charts from?
I have you and Solris go and see about acquiring charts to get to the planet. Then I'm gonna go and See if I can't find out if it's owned or anything. Well, I guess I could probably just call and find out, right?
Yeah, you could. But for the navigational data, you would actually have to either go there yourself or have it sent to you after you acquire it, because it's written down that you inload into the cogitators. But yeah, so if you want to call, make some, get on the Vox and make some calls, you can do N plus. You have Administratum lore skill.
I believe I do. Let me check. Nope, I don't think so. The Seneschal might have it though.
I don't think that's something I don't see it listed in.
We're doing Administratum.
Yeah, lore.
I definitely don't have it.
Yeah, I definitely don't.
You're an orc. I didn't expect you to.
I mean, maybe he studied a lot. You
Oh,
don't
I
know.
saw it was an A. Give me a second.
Imagine he studied real hard. He's like, I want that as my elite advance. I want to know about the Administratum.
You want to look.
Yay!
All right, so Beatrice, as you're listening to Billy talk about or hand out orders, assignments to people, and he mentioned casually that he's gonna make some calls to figure out who owns this place. Based on your knowledge with previous dealings with all the bureaucratical nonsense you would normally have to deal with, you know that, especially on this place in Footfall, the person to talk to here would be Archscribe Gelt. I'll write that down in chat. He would be the man to talk to about finding out the information about who owns which planets, or which planets are registered to what corporate entity or private dynasty.
I guess I would relay that information to the Lord Trader then, and let him know that that's who we're looking for. I'm not gonna try and say that.
Yes, it's fine if you just wanna hand wave it for now.
Hand wave.
Makes sense. But yeah, Billy, you hear this from the Seneschal, who tells you that this is the person you need to talk to.
I'm gonna thank her for the tip. Tell her while she's out getting her, going to get the charts to pick up a bottle of whatever drink of choice she wants on.
What was that expensive drink? I was looking up all the drinks and
Alright, so Billy, because you're gonna be interacting with the big wigs here, and I do believe because of your homeworld you have that special thing. So that would be a +10. I'm trying to figure out here which one it would be, because you're essentially striking a deal. Actually, no, it would be an +10 inquiry. I think.
Pure nobility.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, it's inquiry for this one.
So plus 10 to inquiry.
Yep. You want a fate point to let it stand.
So I'll try and figure.
All right. All right. Yeah, so you know that this planet, or sorry, this star system is not registered, officially registered to anyone right now. As far as the administratum is concerned, they have not heard anything about it. It used to belong to a rogue trader dynasty who first discovered it, but that was, yeah, they have not been active. Like they were dissolved by decree of the Lord General for high crimes against the Imperium. And since then, no one has actively claimed ownership of the place.
So what would I need to claim ownership? I just have to pay a fee, or
So,
if, as far as everyone's concerned as well, too, if it has no more resources to be gained, that effect, would it be a cheaper price?
so Beatrice would know this because she rolled well enough on the administratum roll. But yeah, it would essentially be you would have to declare your intent and the reason why you want it and what are you gonna do with it, and you know, after you file those paperworks, you need to essentially have a administratum scribe or a higher ranking administratum scribe to come out and certify it in person, and then then yearly come back to update the chive, so that your dynasty and the planet is paying the accurate amount of chive to the Imperium. And obviously, failure to do so will make you branded a heretic, and Imperium will take ownership.
Sounds like a lot of big headache.
It's
I
a
can
lot
see
of
why the other
paperwork.
people. I can see why the other people that are currently potentially excavating are doing it unofficially.
Yeah, and you, in the capacity of the as a rogue trader, having at least tangentially dealt with this before or in passing, you know that there is a lot of like an extremely heavy upfront cost to start a colony, and you would essentially be required to start a colony to be able to claim ownership of the planet. You can't just place a flag and call it a day. So it's a fairly massive undertaking to do.
if the only thing it really has of value is potentially some relics that are artifacts that people are already working excavating, I feel like going through the legal process to own it is gonna cost more than it's worth. And by the time it goes into effect, the excavations could be done. What they have of value could be gone by the time we go through the legal hoops to claim it. So just focus on getting the charts and going there ourselves. Although if we get busted excavating, we'll get in trouble more. Or does it not matter since no one technically owns it?
I mean, it would entirely depends on who's there at the time and what they're doing. But officially, from the Imperium side of things, there is no one who owns this place.
No one officially owns it, and I know no one officially owns it. Then anyone who's currently there, I'm gonna know is bullshitting. We can just call their bluff if they say, "Oh, this is our planet," or technically moon, I suppose. But I guess I'll order some excavation equipment, and I guess we'll need someone with survival skill to set things up planet side. Although we probably have people on the ship, right?
I think we have grunts on the 30.
There's got to
Pass.
be at least some people that can survive,
I mean,
have survived.
might have a list.
Find out who here has watched all however many seasons of Man vs. Wild and send them my way.
How you judging?
So the ship crew, all of them. So there are people in the crew who are proficient with it, but the default skill level is 30 in all stats with one check mark. If you want specialized crew or people to help out, then you would have to go out and find them. Otherwise, it's going to be a straight one check mark, 30 in everything kind of thing.
So I should try to find at least one specialist to lead the way. I guess when we're getting the equipment, ask around and see if there's anyone for hire.
All right. So first of all, let's deal with the star maps. So it's easy enough to find, as the Woodmaster and the Seneschal takes a short trip out into the space station. Can you, one of the two of you, roll me a D100, please?
Yep, hang on.
Sounds like you found some Xeno monstrosity over there.
That would be my 70-pound Mastiff dog having a connect.
Sounds like Xenos to me.
I actually did jump out of my seat for a second.
All right. Yeah, you managed to find your way to the navigator, the Navis Nobility Representative. That's the official title of it. And yeah, you spend a bit of time there talking to the person sitting at the front desk, and tell them what you want. And yeah, after a few moments of rummaging around, they produce a data spool for you that you inload into the navigational commutator. And with that, you should have access to their known warp route to Kerr. Whether or not that's gonna be the most efficient one is hard to tell, but at least now you have one. So you don't so the navigator isn't gonna be rolling at -60 to get there.
Not -60 is good. Also, yeah, part of why we haven't is that. Did you know we torture animals here? And we
Settle,
never pet them or give them love or anything.
settle down, Michael.
What?
I said, settle down, Michael Vick.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
You know, I heard that noise when I was coming back with my coffee, and it sounded like it was coming out of my bathroom, which really freaked me out.
No, there are no Xenos in your bathroom.
Are you strangling dogs in your bathroom too?
Not at the moment.
Alright.
Not at the moment, he says.
I'm glad.
Alright, so we have the navigational stuff sorted. And then Graphic, you said you wanted to grab some exploration gear.
Yeah, as well as whatever we would need to excavate. Breaching augers, maybe?
No breaching augers.
We just have your Death Watch character come by and drop one off.
How can we play Minecraft without?
Dear God.
I mean, we could technically just get pickaxes. I assume the world has pickaxes. Maybe a shovel too.
I mean, breaching augers exist, you just won't let them have one.
I know. I mean, I don't think any of us should have a breaching armor. That shit is.
Alright. So are you going out or sending someone out for this?
Guess I'll send someone get the equipment, then I'll try and handle getting a survivalist expert.
Alright, who are you sending? To an NPC or one of the others?
Let's send an NPC to do the little store run.
Alright. Yeah, so roll me an inquiry then to see if you find, as you're going around talking to people, see if you find someone. Anyone tagging along with Billy as he goes out on a shore leave?
I tagged with him last time. Wants my company. I can. Then.
Might as well go.
Chief Cook.
I'm guessing we're all going.
The reason I accompany him for business is because you can always use an extra scrutiny roll.
I'm just tired of being stuck in the engineering. I just need to get out and just breathe some actual air.
Go back to work, grease monkey. I'm guessing we're all going then.
You want to come? We don't want you if you don't.
I'll go. Damn it.
How the hell
Damn it.
does rogue traders never learn inquiry? It's a fellowship.
It's
I guess because you have the rest of us to do it for you?
Rogue traders are supposed to have high fellowship. How do I not learn something based on fellowship?
Because you have the rest of us to do it for you?
I mean, can you?
Let me check real fast. Yes, actually, I can, and I have it trained.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
shit.
because you're the seneschal.
Ta-da!
Well, yeah, you just need a seneschal.
All
That's our
right.
mistake.
So you head out into the wild unknown to find some crew members who can actually do the job for you. All right. So can all of you who's tagging along who has inquiry or want to roll an inquiry do that? See if you find the people willing to join or willing to listen.
Any modifiers on this?
I'll say +0 for this.
Yeah,
I
I'm not
missed
here to
it by
talk.
1 point.
I just
I
remember
needed
my
a
character
13.
does not know how to speak. Well,
I needed a fucking 13 and I missed it by 1.
I feel like with how bad I failed, I was just shouting at people asking if they knew how to survive in the wood.
I got it.
That's pretty much what Toothcutter was doing.
don't mind my role. I'm not actually gonna be trying. I just wanted to see
I'll be trying. I'll be succeeding. I am best.
in a
Alright.
role play fashion. I know my character wouldn't try because kind of insane.
It's literally my job to try.
So Beatrice, you as you're asking around for a bit, listening to conversation and talking to people, you hear there is a group of people sitting at one of the bars talking about some dirt side job they did a while back that they just finished. So they're back here looking for something new, and you strike up a conversation with them. And during this course of the conversation, you learn that there are about 20 or so survivalist experts who and prospectors. So they land first on a planet, check it out for a bit, stay for a couple of months, establish a basic outpost, and then report their findings back to whoever hired them and say, to let them know if it's a viable planet for colonization or exploitation, depending on what they're looking for.
No.
Excavation, exploitation, tomato.
I mean, not wrong.
All right. So, would you like to hire this group of people?
I will relay the information and then leave that decision to Malord Trader because I don't feel like that's a decision for me to make.
I don't see why not if they just got back from the job. They're equipped well enough to do the job, so gotta start somewhere.
Then I suppose I'll ask them if they're willing to take another job and not give them too much information to begin with, but just kind of gauge the interest, I guess, to begin with, and figure out if they do go around telling people, because I don't really think we want people to necessarily know.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think they would be applicable to take another job depending on the pay, and obviously you can place. They ask some very pointed question about, for example, the duration of the work, what kind of environment they'll be visiting. So, for example, depending on what you expect of them, like that they're gonna be asking, or their willingness to take the job. It's gonna depend on that. So if, for example, if it's a frozen death world, then you just stay and investigate for like a year, and chances are they ain't gonna be too happy about that.
That's understandable.
So when we originally rolled to learn about, did we find out the environment?
So there's no up-to-date record of the place, but the moon, the only habitable moon from however long ago the information came in, or was first filed with the colony charter, described it as a temperate world, slightly on the colder side.
So I'd probably tell them that the world's fine, it's just a little chilly, and that they'd be paid well. We just need them to do some initial findings for me and some comrades of mine.
Yeah, I think they think it over a bit and says, all right, we'll bring this comrade of yours and sit down and have a conversation about it. We're interested in hearing more about this job offer of yours.
Okay, I will then tell them to wait a moment, please, and then step a little bit out of their earshot and ask Billy if he's willing to come talk to this group and tell them where I found them. I guess the rest of the group can come catch up with us.
And while we're waiting, I'll buy them a round of drinks. It makes everybody feel.
See, this time I'm not the alcoholic.
Yeah.
All right.
Oi,
Wasn't me that said it.
fucking
I'm a fighter pilot. That's what I do. Is I drink and I talk shit.
All right. So the rest of the party, you know the location of this bar that the Seneschal and the Void Master is currently hanging out in. But yeah, Billy, you're out and about doing your thing, and then yeah, you head over to the bar, and I think it would be like, I don't know, the Old Oak, maybe. Why not? Sounds right. Yeah, so the Old Oak bar. And yeah, and as you come in, you see the Seneschal standing there, and yeah, like the atmosphere in here is it's fairly dark, like dim lighting. There's some ambient music in the background, but nothing overwhelming, and it seems to be mostly like deckhands and security detail hanging out here. You see several people visibly armed, but no one, like the atmosphere seems to be fairly relaxed. And you see in the corner by the bars, there is an Ogryn in full carapace armor and what you would consider an eviscerator strapped to the hip, just standing in a corner, leaning back with the arms crossed, just staring. Okay, you approach and you see the group. There's maybe 5 or so. So it's actually sitting down by the table with Solres. and Beatrice is nearby.
As I walk up and greet them, and ask them what kind of questions they had. That I heard they had questions for my associate. What can I help?
And yeah, I think maybe hand wave this, but like it's basically just duration of the work, payment, like what kind of environment, like the basic stuff that they need to know before they make any decisions, and who they're working with, whether it's a dynasty or a private company, stuff like that as well. So I suppose my question to you would be, how forthcoming are you with the details? Like, is there anything you're holding back, or you telling them the truth as you know it?
Guess I'll tell them they'll be working directly for me. As far as environment goes, the best we know is that it's a temperate environment. That as far as the duration, that will all depend on how the initial findings go. If we set up camp and initial digs look promising, then probably stay longer. Or if it ends up looking like it's a dead end, probably be a short trip.
All right. Yeah, so they think it over for a bit and, casually sipping their drinks, listening to you talk about it. And yeah, I think the leader, I think it's about, let's say 6 feet, fairly bulky built, shaved head, has a couple of scars here and there, and cybernetic eyes, and pale skin, or a tan skin rather. And he says, well, I suppose we'll just have to wait and see until we get there. But yeah, we're interested. We have nothing better to do right now, and this is the best offer. So, with that in mind, I would like. So, first of all, Beatrice, do you want to do an opposed commerce here to see how to negotiate the deal for this, or an opposed barter test? I think this would be to see how the deal goes.
Sure.
Let me just have a quick look. So I'm giving you the right skill. Yeah, this would be barter. And Billy can give you the +10 if he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, I might as well.
Didn't he already use it, or are you allowed to use it more than once?
It's once per round. So he can use basically every 6 seconds he can use it again.
Alright.
Yeah, so for you it would be a barter +10.
Goes well. Yay. Yeet.
Okay, so that's 12 degrees. So you beat them by 12 degrees. Your seneschal. So let me just have a quick look at the special ability. Okay, now it's commerce, not barter. Alright, so 12 degrees, which is well, so that, yeah, that's plus 24 profit factor for this. Alright, so it's for, sorry, I said 20, so that's 10. And the average goes here. Right, so 10, 30. Yeah, so 30, 20. Yeah, so 20 plus 24, 44. Well, what's the current profit factor here?
57.
So 57 plus 44.
Wait, why is it 44?
Because the barter test temporarily increased your profit factor for this role, and then there is an acquisition modifier to these experts.
Uh,
Okay, so according to my calculator, the total acquisition modifier for this role will be 101, which means that it auto succeed. So yeah, you sit for a few minutes and hash out the details of the contract, and everyone's having a round of drinks, and yeah, you cross the T's and dots the I, and you sign the contract. So you now have the crew to come help you out settle this planet, or at least investigate what kind of riches there will be here. Yeah, while the Seneschal is making deals, what are the rest of you doing?
My character is just in a corner, just muttering to himself, saying some weird thing. Basically, just talking to
Alright.
himself
Are there any
while
other
drinking.
orcs there?
Not in this place. The closest thing to an orc here is the ogre in the corner.
Alright, so we basically have a day to kill while the Seneschal is running around doing all this, right?
yeah, you let me do all the heavy fucking lift.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, in that
He's
case,
actually sitting in the corner drinking.
I'm taking the boys on a day out, and so
Oh shit.
I think I have 6 choir members, and so we're just traveling to different spots around the station, and I'm basically making a training exercise of it, a land excursion before we go back onto the ship.
Okay. Anything special you wish to accomplish with this?
Nothing in particular at the moment. I'm not going to try for an acquisitions or anything, but we are visiting whatever old chapels or shrines, specifically the gigantic, what is it? Like a 200-mile high statue of the Emperor, I think is how big it is. We're going to visit that and any other notable sites.
All right. Yes, you spend the day sightseeing with the choir. All right.
Tuvka is going back to the blood pits for some proper fun.
All right. How long do you stay there?
Couple hours.
Okay. Roll me a d5. Actually, no. It's 5d100. Sorry. Alright, so you win 3 out of the 5 matches you're taking part in. So you get some thieves to take home as a souvenir.
How many?
I'll roll a d10. 4 teeth. Alright. Yeah, so now you have the star map as you all get back to the ship later in the evening, ship time. You have the star map, you have the equipment, and you have the crew. Is there anything else you would like to do here on the station before you set off?
Just gonna remind Beatrice, if she hasn't gotten it already, that I offered to buy her a bottle of whichever booze she wanted for her helper. So she hasn't done that yet.
Seneschal currently has needs to go to the bathroom. She'll be back.
Alright. So yeah, that would be one of those rolls. Alright. Yeah, is there we can pick up the bottle of booze potentially after or during transit. So yeah, is there anything else? Because right now, at least on my list, you have fulfilled all the prerequisites. Or at least the stuff you recall from the top of your heads that you probably should have sorted out before you left.
Chief Cutter heads back to the ship after fighting.
Alright. But yeah, if there is nothing more here you want to do, and also, I suppose, as you're out and about, I think really, at some point you feel a slight shiver down your spine when you're walking back to the ship as you're traveling through the halls here on the station. But as you look around, you don't see anything, but it feels like you're being observed momentarily before the sensation of discomfort goes away again, and you enter the ship, the airlock. All right. So yeah, unless there is anything else you guys want to do here, then I think it's simply do a couple of navigation rolls before and see where you end up. But I'll do that between sessions, so I think we can end it here if there's nothing else, and pick it up at some point during either during transit or once you get to the system.
Yeah, I think the
So
sounds
all,
Oh, you broke off.
so all depending on how Hellforge rolls depends on if we're gonna, come back to us getting attempted to get eaten by demons in the warp, or are we?
I mean, knowing my luck rolling with the navigational stuff, you'll end up in the Eye of Terror. So
I wouldn't put it past the dice.
Hey, look what it did Look what it did for Tuska's career.
Just keep your eyes open if we ever end up on a swampy area of this world, because we happen to know for a fact that Hellforge at some point made a demon crocodile.
Oh god.